The planet is going to become uninhabitable when we get to a certain point. We've overlooked that nature sustains life.
Climate change is a massive threat to everybody. Storms, floods, wildfires, typhoons. Much more disease, much more food shortages, much more war, just general insecurity.
Unless there's a shift in understanding, a shift in engagement and a shift in mindset, nothing's really going to change.
What we're doing here is planting mixed native species woodland. It's all to combat climate change. Over the city we're planting over 6,150 whips and 60 orchard trees at 3 different sites. I'm an environmental ranger for the City Council. I've been doing the job 4 years. We work both on land and water. We clean up the rivers and waterways, do riverbank reinforcement, we work in woodlands, nature areas, parks, gardens, anywhere where we can make a difference. We try and add value to where we can. So roughly that sort of depth. I'll get a big square, cut the square, take the soil out, big tree in the hole to the said planting depth. Firm the soil around so the roots maintain contact with the soil so they do not dry out. Pull the strings and that, when you're happy, is one oak planted, potentially there for the next 1,000 years. It's a lot of fun, it's a brilliant job. I adore it, I adore working with volunteers and corporate groups, school groups. And we're making a difference. That's what I'm passionate about. We are currently undertaking some litter picking, and it's under the Great British Spring Clean banner. We've come to Bede Park today because we know this is a particular site of difficulty and interest for it's excessively littered basically. And just in this very tiny area we've probably got 15 plastic bags of rubbish, lots of cans, bottles, things which pollute the environment. We're really working hard to try and combat this, and it's just rubbish on top of rubbish. And what we're doing will make a difference. I'd expect at least 100 bags of rubbish. We anticipate filling the Land Rover and the trailer just from a small litter picking session with volunteers.
I mean, for me, it's sort of being outside, being active, being part of a group, and just the social aspect of it. And also, if people did this, they might become more aware and hopefully just chuck less rubbish out.
Education in the long term will work, encouraging people that it's not acceptable to drop rubbish, to recycle as much as possible, to promote a greener, friendlier environment. That's what I believe, and I passionately believe that. If people just put this rubbish in a bin, we wouldn't have this issue today. We wouldn't have to be here today. There's another one there. No, that one has. We're trained to deal with these situations, but not to this extent. There's a needle there, I can see. Absolutely shocking amounts. That could really do somebody some damage. We want to have a greener city, and we don't do that by chucking rubbish around. It's disgusting today. Well, as I said, what more can we do? We will carry on working on sites like this and pulling as much rubbish out as we possibly can. I'm passionate about my job and I'm passionate about trying to do as much as I can to this, and we will make efforts to make a better environment. That's all we can do.
Changes have to happen in the next 3 to 5 years, primarily. Massive change. I don't think there's time to hang around on this. My name's Zina Zeltzer. I'm part of Climate Action Leicester and Leicestershire. I've been campaigning since I was about 13. I've been doing it in a kind of 10 to 30 hour, 40 hour a week sort of level since I was about 17. You know, when politics and activism is what's talked around at the meal tables every day, it is just who you are. Alice Walker said activism is my rent for living on this planet, and I would say my family always subscribed to that position. So it's a new organisation. We've only been going for about 2.5 years, who are a group of local people who want to work together to tackle climate change, essentially, with a focus on pushing councils and organisations to become greener. Obviously the ultimate goal would be that we actually reduce the city's carbon footprint to the extent that, well, to zero or to less than zero, but more realistically that we get the local council's policies to be at least sustainable from a climate perspective, and that we support people locally to push national government to do the same, and that we support each other to do the same. I think systemic change is absolutely essential, but I don't think you get systemic change unless individuals push for it and enforce it. What matters is that we make the changes ourselves and that we push the government to act. We have to have systemic change, but systemic change comes from individuals pushing. It's not just something that happens on its own. We elected a Conservative government who have absolutely no seriousness at all about tackling climate change. At a moment when everyone said they cared about this issue, I find it terrifying that people are saying, I care about this issue, and they are not doing everything that they possibly can to actually do something about it. It hurts if I stop and actually think about it. I find it painful. I think one of the reasons I spend so much time campaigning is because it acts as a distraction. So I feel like I'm doing something, but at the same time I don't have to engage with the emotions because I can focus on the work that it creates. We have the potential to make a huge change and to do something about it, and it seems like the energy for that is growing. I find that helpful. I find that encouraging. At the same time, we're not doing nearly enough, nearly fast enough, and people are not prioritising it. So, you know, I have very mixed feelings.
The opposite of that is degrowth. And that is the only way we're going to slam on the brakes of the climate emergency. My name's Karen. I spend most of my time involved in campaigns and doing quite a lot of direct action. My main interest, generally speaking, is with the direct action because I recognise that it only seems to be that when there's boots on the ground and when people make a nuisance of themselves and block people's ability to carry on with life, business as usual and their ordinary lives. That seems to be the only thing that shakes us from our capacity to carry on as normal, even when, as Greta says, our house is on fire. If you cause an inconvenience, the media will take an interest. They stop taking an interest if that's all you do. So the problem is that it doesn't matter what people do. If it doesn't make any difference, then everyone says, well, what's the point? We've got literally 3 years to slam on the brakes of the climate emergency and change how we use energy, how we view energy, how we view our lifestyles. You know, we have to take responsibility now and get involved.
Take your time, I love war. My uniform is torn for your anger. With my hope, though it's grey and it's dancing. Cope with my hope, though it's grey and it's dancing. So follow, 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 follow us. Just follow, 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 follow us. Please help take your time. Please help take your time. Please help take your time. Please help take your time.
People want to step up, but it's a big step, or it feels like a big step. But actually, when you take it, you realise, wow, that was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. And that's about a mindset. That's about our culture of fear. You know, we're told to follow the rules and don't get in trouble with the police. The fact that the police enforce the laws, but actually our laws are designed to protect property, to protect profit. Okay, our laws are not designed to protect the planet.
Please